Hello, Oracles. Oracle Tim here from Oracle Investments. What happened in the market today? Well, the Fed minutes came out and they weren't pretty. There really wasn't much good about it. A lot of, concern about inflation, concern about their current policy not working as they thought it would, potential talks of recession. Lots of different things that came out of this, not a lot of good things, and obviously we saw the market reacted to it. And one of the things to pay attention to in this is the 10-year bond yield, and that was pushing over 1.7 today, has been climbing rapidly. As we talked about yesterday, back in February of last year, we saw it starting to spike up at the same time. What happened? All the high growth stocks, including Tesla, came crashing way down. Could that happen again? It's possible, but let's talk about that. So now those of you who have been following the channel for a while know that for the last month or so, coming to the end of Elon's sales, we discussed that the first 2 weeks of January had the potential to see some big dips coming. We weren't talking about Fed minutes or anything in particular causing it, but just like, the Santa Claus rally ends, the market's going to take a bit of a dip. Sometimes big money runs stocks up for a little while in the Santa Claus rally, takes some profits, lets things come down, and then they buy back into stocks that they think are going to do very well for Q4 earnings. So this situation here with the Fed minutes, I'm kind of leaning in two different directions, and I'll discuss those. So my first thoughts about everything are similar to what I had talked about before, and that is we saw the Santa Claus rally run up. The next week or so, we're going to see some volatility and some selling off. We have CPI data coming out on the 12th, and with that coming up, that might change the tone of what just happened today, potentially. What I mean by that is we had the news today, freaked out, taper tantrum. We're thinking the Fed is going to be tapering faster, raising rates sooner, and that could cause the markets to go into a bit of a volatile period. And the massive sell-off today was adjusting to all of this news. Now, the silver lining I took out of this is the Fed literally painted a picture of worst case scenario. So they basically said everything that could go wrong is going wrong. Now, with that said, if you're looking forward and say, hey, you know what? Well, if something goes right along the way and the market has already priced in everything that could go wrong, then we could be pulling out of this and see some good bumps coming up. Still going to be rocky. So the first bump of that could be next week's CPI data. If the CPI data comes in and inflation is not as high as it is expected, that could be a very good sign. And that sign could lead us to my scenario number one, which is we are going to see volatility over the next week. We see CPI data come in with inflation lower than expected. The market cheers this and thinks, oh, the Fed's not going to have to raise rates as fast as we expect. And then we are going to have a nice run up into Q4 earnings. And then we'll have some nice profit taking after that, going into February's CPI data, further Fed news. That's further down the road. That's my scenario number one. Scenario number two is inflation next week comes in higher than expected and we freak out even more. And then we see a bigger sell-off going on. And at that point, it's one of those, just pay attention to what's going on in the market. Could be a time to sell some of your high growth stocks if you've got some profits. Maybe put some stops in. Today I put some stops in for my stocks that were profitable. MP Materials for me sold off. I made a very good profit on it. No complaints there. These are things I'm monitoring. And this is one of the reasons that I was, for me, holding cash. I was holding cash, keeping, my Apple plays, some of my cash plays intact because I had a feeling some of this was going to come on. And again, I don't know when it's going to turn. I don't know if it's going to turn in a week or so. I don't know if it's going to turn in a couple of months. I just wanted to be ready for either scenario. And now when it comes to the CPI data, this is year over year inflation. So the January CPI data is going to be based off of last year's prices. So now remember, March and April started the high inflation that we all thought was going to be transitory. And we thought it was going to be transitory because previously, during the initial outbreak of COVID, we saw prices of everything come way down because everybody was locked in their homes and nobody was spending any money. So that is what caused that. So we went straight down and then we just covered that. So when we get back to this March and April, that is really what's going to define inflation for us in the future, because last year we had high inflation. So if we have high inflation on top of high inflation, that could be some concern. And now, truth be told, I have never traded in the market during a recession. I was not trading back in 2008. I worked in the construction field, so I knew that the housing market was taking a hit for sure, but I didn't know how it affected the market. The hit that we took in 2018, I had just started trading at that point, so I wasn't wise enough to really know what was going on in the market. So seeing as how we're going to be trading going forward on this, for me, I'm going to take it one day at a time, one step at a time. I'm paying attention to, the history that I have seen other analysts and how they have talked about how they've gotten through the recession before, and some strategies to get through it. And again, my strategy for if we do end up getting into a recession or a correction of some sort will be to just protect my gains. I still have some of my stocks that I'm playing long, but nobody knows how bad this is going to be. Nobody knows if it's just going to be brief. Nobody knows if it's not even going to happen at all. So you kind of have to do your own research. And let me know in the comments below what you guys think we're going to be coming into. Do you think we're going to hit a recession? Do you think this is just going to blow over and not be a big concern? Let me know, how long do you think this is going to last for? For me, that's why I said I want to have multiple sources of income, cash flow sources, and just the cash on hand to be versatile, be agile for whatever is going to happen, because I have a feeling we're going to be going on a month-to-month basis for at least the next 3 months before we get an idea of what's truly going to be going on. And one thing that I have learned in the market is the market will always, always, always overreact, whether it's in a positive way or a negative way. So we're going to get some negative news, the market's going to oversell, 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 and then we can get some buying opportunities. Again, I don't know how deep this is going to go and how long it's going to last. So it could be a situation where the dip just keeps on dipping. So I'm going to pay attention, and I'm not going to be dumping a lot of money in until we get a little more certainty about what's going on. But the market also does go in the opposite direction. We saw it with Tesla earlier this week. We see it happen with all the stocks. It's euphoric run-ups. And these are the things that I pay attention to, because that gives me buying opportunities and selling opportunities. And as we saw with Tesla today, came crashing way down. And if you guys follow me on Twitter at OracleTim1, you will see that I noted that we filled that gap down to 1081. So that gap is now filled. Whether we go back down to the 939 and fill that gap is to be seen. Again, we just had some rough times today. We may see some more rough times tomorrow. We have some news coming out of Giga Austin later this week. Could be a nice little green bump. And then going into CPI data next week, could be some rough times again. So will we get down to 939? Depends. I think a lot of it's going to be, as we talked about before, if we get down there, it's macro environment issues that are going to cause it. And right now we have some pretty severe macro environment issues going on. So 939 is entirely possible. And one thing that you can do during a time of if we hit a recession is getting into these high dividend yield stocks. I had mentioned it before, QILD is a great one that I'm in. And anything like that will be a good thing to get into in a recession type situation. I'm still gonna hold my Tesla. Again, nobody knows how far it's going to dip. Totally up to you what you wanna do. And I don't know how long it would take for us to come out of this either. So my strategies with my portfolio, I'm going to continue adding to my high dividend yield stocks and funds in my IRA. I am holding Tesla and I'm continuing my strategy, adding $15 a day and $15 for every percent that it dips. I'm going to hold on to my Apple, might actually add a little bit more to that one as well because I like it long term. And then my other stocks, I'm going to take some profits where I can. If I need to and I see things really going dark, I might just sell off some losses just to free up some more cash. I'm going to play this one out, but I will keep you guys posted. On Twitter, I will post any moves that I make and let you guys know there. So this way you can see what I am doing. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just an investor who do my own things. I've been learning along the way. I learn from you guys as well. So just trying to share what I'm doing with you guys there. And so the next two things I'm paying attention to are going to be news coming out of Austin for Tesla and then CPI data next week. Otherwise, I'm just going to kind of do my strategies with, like I said, my stops and my Tesla strategy and see how the next week plays out and then reformulate from there. And I will keep you guys posted in my evening videos as to what I'm doing for the whole market strategy. So again, let me know in the comments below, do you think we are heading towards a recession? Do you think this is going to blow over? What is your strategy for what we are going into over the next month, year? Just let me know what you guys are thinking. And I want to thank you all for responding to my poll this morning. I realized that the last week or so, I've been doing much more heavily Tesla-oriented videos, especially since their release on production and deliveries had come out. So I appreciate all of your feedback, and it seems like we were relatively even. And the votes came in, 44% of you had said leave the channel name and focus strictly on Tesla, and 33% said to stay the way we were. So what I'm going to do is obviously leave the channel name. The majority of you guys liked it, so and I really liked it myself, so I didn't want to change that up. What I'm going to do though is similar to what I did before. We're going to do a majority of Tesla. I'm going to focus on that. And honestly, Slim, thank you so much. You put it the best. Just do me. And that's what it's going to be is, I got to share with you guys my experiences. I want to share with you my knowledge, and I can't do what I don't know. And as I learn, I'll share more with you guys. But I do trade in multiple stocks, not just Tesla, but I'm 50% Tesla. So for me, I'll probably end up doing 75% of my videos on Tesla. I'll do a little bit on, other stocks and other macro environment news like this, and other things that are going to be related to Tesla. So everybody's going to get a little piece of something here and there, something to help you guys out. And if there's anything in particular that you guys want me to take a little further look at, I will certainly do that. And so I will just continue doing what is relevant for me and share all of that with you guys to give you my own insights as well. So thank you again so much for your feedback on that, and I truly appreciate all your support. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate you being here. If you have not subscribed, please do so down below. Sign yourself up for notifications, and I will see you guys in the morning. Thank you so much.